Okay, welcome back to another video, and as promised, probably many years ago when I started my YouTube channel, to bring you more videos of my editing process using Lightroom. Recently, I created some new color profiles called tones for Lightroom. They're on my website, shameless plug. And I've been getting a lot of positive feedback lately on the profiles, and people seem to really enjoy them. And I'm getting a lot of questions about my process, my editing style, and the way that I color grade. So I figured, I dove into it a little bit on my last video, but that was more of an introduction about, someone that may have purchased the profiles, how to go about importing them. Today, I just want to go through a couple simple edits. It's a rainy day. Haven't really been shooting much street photography lately. So often what I will do, and I've mentioned this before, is I will re-edit older photos using new color profiles or new tones just to see the way that they overlay on top of these files. Now, most of these files are from the Leica M10 with a 50mm Summicron, some may be a 35 Summicron. And the other ones would be either from the Leica QP or the Leica Q2. I don't know if I will have any Sony files in there, but to be honest with you, once you start adding color profiles to everything, you're really kind of just accessing the RAW or the DNG file anyway, and then applying all your color afterwards. So again, this is just, a rainy day. I have really not much going on today, so I figured I would just have a nice little editing session, and I will do a screen capture and kind of just show you how I run through some of my editing and see if that kind of works for you. If it does, if you do like my editing style, please hop over to the website and maybe entertain picking up a copy of the tones profiles for your own edits. Beyond that, the website does have a lot of good information on there on my blog, and there are other presets available as well. But like and subscribe if you like these kind of videos. As you can see, I do have a ton of videos, and I am trying, as my main career comes to a close and I do retire soon, I am trying to beef up my YouTube channel. So it really helps. The likes and the subscribers really do help the channel out, and I am trying to build that audience and deliver you guys more content on a weekly basis, hopefully one day a daily basis. All right, stick right here. Don't leave, because we're going to do some edits, and I'm going to switch over now to a screen capture and just bring up my Lightroom catalog. Okay, welcome back, and here we have my Lightroom catalog. These images here are from New York City, and they are a couple years ago. I believe this is 2021. So October of 2021, actually did a workshop in New York City with a few people that signed up for it, and we had a good time. It was a long workshop, probably about 4 or 5 hours maybe of walking around in mixed lighting conditions. It went from rain to a sunny day, and obviously it ended up being more of a walk, and they were all experienced photographers, so it was more about them just watching me work and the way that I like to do things and the way that I like to compose images and the way that I see the world. So that's kind of the files that you're going to see here today. Some of them are a little bit of nothing, but this is just the way that I see things. And I figured I would take you on this little editing process with me. It will probably end up being a longer video, I get that, so sit back and relax and try to enjoy it and just zone out, and hopefully you get something from this. But regardless, I am not scripted, so none of this is, as you see it come, as it's going to be delivered. So I do have like 32 files here. I doubt that I'll edit all of them, but to be honest with you, my editing process is very quick. And once I've developed my own set of color tones and presets that go along with the tones, it makes it even faster. And it's really not difficult to do, and you can pump out some solid files within a short amount of time. And I'm not saying that that's the name of the game, but you know, I look at an image really quick and I see where I want to go with it, and that's where it ends up. I'm going to be primarily using my color tones profiles, but what I've done is if I go into the develop module here, I've created presets that correspond with my tones. So I have all my color tone profiles over here, but within these tones, I've created different settings within the develop module, like the basic panel and the tone curve and everything like that within these color tones. And I've made presets out of them that actually just make things go a lot quicker. Now, again, not to be a salesman, but if you were to pick up the color tones, you can download the presets that go along with it for free. Again, this is just my little personal tweaks on the color profiles that you're already getting. I'm not saying that you have to use them, but they're there if you wish. So I'm going to close down this anyway. So basically, you're going to see me kind of just doing very minimal edits after I add to the preset, but you know, I'll give you my take on things. So here, you know, we have Chinatown, New York City. I'm going to start right off the bat with adding. I'm going to be basically staying in my vibrant presets here. So you know, I really like these last ones. They add a lot of teal and a lot of orange. That teal and orange kind of look, but they get a little warmth and a little green to them too, which I think is somewhat reminiscent of film. I'm not trying to emulate any kind of film stock here, but to me, it does remind me of some things that I've seen from older Kodachrome, older, you know, street photography files that I've seen in photo books. So I really do enjoy this, these three vibrants here. And, you know, we're just going to work off of that. So right here, Vibrant 1, Vibrant 2, and Vibrant 3. I like 1 for this, and basically I would just go in and I would, you know, auto this to correct that a little bit. And I think what I did with this one before is I like this at a 16:9, just to get a little bit of that curb. I'm not really too concerned about all this up here, but I do like the curb, and I actually might take this down a little bit. I'm going to actually unlock the 16:9 because I do want a little bit more of them and not so much those people. And, you know, people will say like, you know, you're heavily cropping your images. I do what I want. I don't really care if it's an exact profile, you know, aspect ratio. I try to, like right now, I'm close enough to 2:3 that I will make it 2:3 and just go right from there. And this is where I'm at with this one. I may kind of just straighten this out a little bit so those guys don't look like they're skewed. And, you know, the file does go on a little bit of a slant. I like the contrast where it is. I could always beef up the contrast. I might actually take some away. I might just a little bit there. And I think I'm going to leave this one. Now, in my presets, I do have some frame options here. So I do like to add a black frame. I pick that. I can bring that to 100 to 200. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to do anything, but here we are with a black frame, and that one will be done. I'll save that. Go back over to this next file here. This is, again, New York City, Chinatown. I really like this street scene. This street scene I do like in 16:9. Let me straighten that out. Let me crop this to 16:9, and let me just straighten where I want that to go. I like this gentleman off to the side here, and I like, you know, the street. This is early morning. Chinatown really isn't bustling at this time, but I think I added one on this one again. I really like this greenish tint to the I guess it would be the midtones. Highlights are a little warmer and a little, you know, more reddish and orangish, but the lowlights and the midtones are more of that greenish teal. And I like the way that this file looks. I think there might be a little vignette on this. I don't the vignette is fine either way. I could take it away or I can actually add it. I actually kind of like to add it because I feel like it pulls you right down the street. I mean, you have all these leading lines, so I feel like it kind of draws you right to the center here. Not that saying that this is the main character of the image, but you know. And again, if I want to add a black frame, I can add a white frame if I don't like that. You can do that too. These are added into a lot of my presets, but that one is going to be done with a black frame. And let's move on. This is again that same area, and I really like this gentleman here. I think he's kind of looking at the menu and also kind of figuring out something on his phone. But he's well dressed. He's got these funky shoes here. I thought were pretty cool. These Adidas. And, he's doing his thing. I took him for a couple different angles during the workshop, and I actually used this guy as a subject for one of the attendees to learn how to get up close, learn how to just get there and get the shot. And he was very apprehensive. And I was just kind of showing him, I just worked around this angle. I didn't ask for permission, but he seemed to be fine with everything. He did engage with me a little bit with his eyes. He did see that I was taking his photo, and he really didn't mind too much. I would have approached him more so, but, it is what it is. I didn't correct any of the angle on this, but I am going to make it a 16:9. I don't favor 16:9 for any particular reason. But I do like when I'm trying to make more of a cinematic style shot to do 16:9s. Let's see, Vibrance 1, 2, or 3. I'm really sticking with the 1 on these images here. I really like this way. I'm going to bring this up a little bit because it is a little dark. And I think I might bring the shadows down a little, and maybe some of the whites just down a little bit. Let me see, but bring the black up. Bringing the black up here adds a little bit of a fade, which is not that horrible. I kind of like that. Keep everything kind of where it is, but you can see how fast everything is editing. I mean, again, I get that I've done a lot of homework with the vibrant tone. That's the preset that we're using right here, and I believe that is this one here. But you could see, like, if I didn't apply my corrections, like, this is the tone right off the bat. Really, really strong. And it's not even at full power. You can see it's down a little bit. But this is how I adjusted it. Again, it's giving me that color that I want, but toning it the way that I absolutely want to deliver it. Let's move on here. We have this guy here. This is kind of a cool little scene. I think this was with the Leica M10 50mm Summicron, so I am manual focusing. I'm going to bring this up just a little bit to like a 4x5. And again, let's see, 3, 2, and 1. I really like 1, but like for the sake of change, let's go to 2. And I may drop the color to a little cooler, the temp here, and bring it up just a little bit, and highlights just down a little. Contrast, I could leave the contrast kind of where it is. And, again, if I want to add that black frame, there I am, and that is kind of done. You can see that these things move really, really quick. I like this scene. This one looked good with it's a color 1. 2 was a little warmer, or 3 is a little warmer. 2 is kind of right in between. I'm going to go with 1 again. I like the way that it works with the shadows. I'm going to bring this up just a little bit. This one was kind of cool. I like the palette on this. I like that she's really engaged on her phone, and you could see that they were just having a conversation about something. You can kind of see the look on his face. He's not absolutely sharp. He's not, right in focus, but again, it's not really about that to me. But I also like the fact that these two NYPD guys in a conversation. You could see this gentleman's head tilted towards his, but it kind of gives you the scene that you are in New York City with this NYPD right off to the left here. And again, this is just stuff that I see throughout the day when I'm walking around. And, sometimes I don't know if it's going to be a good photo or a photo that I really enjoy until like when I get back. You know, there was obviously something that I saw when I took the image that made me take the image, but sometimes I don't know about it until I get back home and I start looking at the files. And I'm sure there's a ton of people that will critique and say, like, this is just a nothing image. And yeah, you're probably right, it isn't, but I like it, so I took it. So, you know, so here we go again. I really like this, you know, obviously through the window. I really like to use windows to introduce like another layer. We have the reflections. So again, I can take away a little bit of nonsense just to fill the frame a little bit better. So I'll bring that to there. I will add, you know, I really don't know how these are going to edit out until I kind of correct. So I didn't correct white balance on some of these. So right here, Vibrant 1, what I'll do is I'll take my picker, my white balance picker off to the left here, and I'll put it on his coat, and it's going to make a blue. And then I can warm it up a little bit and maybe adjust a little bit of the green if I want to, and I could bring this up. I want to bring it a little cooler. And again, kind of just a different type of feel, but you're getting this strong reflection across the entire scene, and just different, just something different to kind of mess with. You can mess with the saturation. I might bring the vibrance down a little bit on this, and maybe bring down the contrast, bring up the blacks just a little bit, and maybe warm it just a tad. Maybe add a little bit more green to this. Actually, that just evened it out. Yeah. Yeah. So that's that. Kind of nothing, but just moving along. I'm again following with that same, sorry, it's just taking a minute here. Okay, following with that same theory of using reflections. Here I am getting close up to a woman in a, I guess, a coffee shop, or yeah, definitely a coffee shop. You can see the coffee right there. So you can see it's starting to get more sunny out here, but I really like, I like a lot of this overlaying of the reflection. You're not sure what's in the store, what's on the outside. I really like this section over here. I tend to use a lot of framing in my images, or I would call them like halves, like I'll half a wall and just part of a person here. I'm going to put a preset on this from my tones profile. I don't know if I want it warm. Let's go, that's a little cold. Let's go warmer here. And again, you know, I have these other ones too. You know, I'm just kind of sticking with the same type of cohesive look, but obviously, you know, some of these will give you more of a different look as well throughout, you know, the scene. But I'm going to go with Vibrance 1. I'm going to bring this down just a little bit. I'm going to crop this out because this poster here is kind of messing with me a little bit. Bring this here. It actually brings it to a nice 4x5, and kind of go with that right there. I'm going to bring this up a little bit. I'm going to bring the blacks down a little bit. The blacks will just help me with that reflection just a little bit. And I may bring this just a little cooler. And I'm going to leave that right where it is and throw a frame on it. I like my frames. People will say, why do you add the frames? I don't know. I don't have any rules when it comes to editing or photography. I feel like if you're following rules, then you're kind of doing what everybody else does. But if you kind of make up your own set of rules, then, you know, you're always going to be original. That may seem cliche, I guess, but I don't know. I just kind of go with the way I like things to look. The one thing that I do get a little bit obsessive about is my angles. Like, I like to have straight lines. I don't like things that are uneven and whatnot. This was just, again, early morning at a bar. Obviously, whatever was being delivered is waiting by the front. And again, just adding a simple preset over top of this, maybe bringing it up a little bit, taking some of the vignette away on this one, maybe cooling it off just a little. And then, there we are. We're done. This guy was kind of cool walking across. You could tell he's a very like a larger gentleman here, and walking his little dog here. It was Halloween weekend, I believe, so some people were in costumes and whatnot. But if I just throw a quick preset on this, just to show you, bright sunny day, I can go cool, I can go kind of middle, and I could go warmer. I'm going to actually make this warmer here, and just moving along. Again, people will walk past this a million times a day, I'm sure, and don't see anything about it. And to be honest with you, there really isn't much to show here, but I love vintage, dilapidated, weathered. You could see it's been through the years and just decaying, rust and whatnot. I really enjoy this kind of stuff. It just catches my eye all the time, and it looks great when you throw presets and, start editing them. So, Vibrant 2. I'm sorry if I'm moving kind of quick. I'm trying to get a lot of files in a short amount of time here for you guys. But you can see I'm not really doing much. I mean, I'm adding my profile, and then I'm really just adjusting some of the exposure and a little bit of the contrast sometimes. And maybe, if I want to cool it down just a little bit or warm it up. This one, I kind of like it, right where it kind of is at 6,700, right around there. And going to be kind of done with this one. I think I've added my profile in here already because, with some of these presets that I have for myself, I kind of adjusted it for my own liking, but the ones that are delivered will not have, lens profiles or chromatic aberrations checked. I leave that to you. I don't want to completely control the process for you, so I deliver them kind of more basic and allow you to do that, because I know sometimes when you add things that shouldn't be added to presets, it could get a little wonky. I like this early morning scene right here coming up once it comes through. Sorry, sometimes it takes a little while because I'm running OBS, screen capturing my Lightroom catalog, and the computer can only do so much. So I really like this one. I spent a lot of time capturing this in a few different ways, this fish market here. If I go Vibrant 1 and I bring this up just a little bit here for the exposure, and I believe I cooled this down just a little bit. Yeah. And maybe bring up my blacks just a little more exposure, a little bit more contrast. And whites, a little bit on the whites to make this pop. Just right here. And frame that. And I think it already has a vignette on it. I can add a little more vignette, kind of looks kind of cool. I haven't added grain on these. You obviously can add some grain if you're looking to make it more filmic. You will get that little bit of grain here. Obviously you can take it off, but I'm going to add it just a little bit. I can see a little chromatic aberration there, but I'm not really concerned about it at distance. You don't really see it. This one, again, has some grain added to it. And that one would be done. Let's move on. This guy here sitting on this step. He does have a shadow cutting across him. In hindsight, I really wish the shadow wasn't there, but at the end of the day, I really like that it's a lone figure sitting in this step. And I just know that this type of paint and, style building really edits out well. So if I add, it kind of turns it more into that greenish type of look, or I can kind of warm it up. I'm going to go with tone 1 again, and I'm going to auto transform this just to straighten these lines and crop a little bit, get that more even. And I'm going to leave that where it is because I don't want to cut the step off. And let's just brighten this up a little bit. Let's put a little more vignette on this guy right here. And maybe a little warmer right there. And let's a little more bright, a little exposure here. Okay, +1, we're like 1.15 on that. Again, everything's going to be different. He's just sitting there. He's smoking a cigarette. He's having a fun time. Now, again, I could leave it like that, but if I really wanted to get crop heavy, that didn't look too bad either. This is a Q. I believe this is a Q2, so I have a ton of resolution there, and I can actually bring it to that if I wanted to, which maybe I'll do that for this one. I've always cropped it the other way, but I'll leave it like this, and I'll throw on a frame. And once that takes hold, and that one will be done. I'll save that one. Again, using certain things to frame out my subject. This was actually just a street sign that is kind of blurry, but if I kind of, frame this the way that I want, and, we have this one subject here, I actually can bring this in a little bit, cut this guy out, and just have her by herself. I kind of like that. Add my tone profile to it. I want to make this one just probably vibrant too, a little bit of warmth to it, bring this up a little bit, and maybe cool it down just a tad, and maybe, there we go, balance that out. So again, not altogether anything interesting, but the fact that it's framed out with this blurriness kind of just makes a natural frame. So I kind of like it. It invokes a question of what that is. Was it meant to happen? Was it a mistake? Was it a happy mistake? So I like those thought-provoking questions when I edit sometimes. And again, it's just mundane, everyday lifestyle photos in New York. Just kind of, digging my color profile. So again, here we go. A guy early morning working on, I believe this is, Pell Street in Chinatown, very famous area. Throw a profile on this. This is warmer. Let's see. Again, sticking with that one. I really like the one, and maybe cropping this a little bit to kind of make it like a 5x7, and adding definitely more of a vignette to this because we do have a central figure. I like to do my vignettes pretty natural, where I put my midpoint all the way down, I feather all the way up, I protect the highlights, and I start bringing it down as much as I want to that way. And throw a frame on it again, call this one a day. Real fast, right, guys? I mean, listen, you can dive into this stuff as much as you want and get a little crazy. This one, I think I just kind of cropped this way, just a bicycle wheel, but I just like this color green, and, kind of green matching some of the leaves in here, and you have this mask. It kind of shows you where we were in the world. You have this, bike tire and this Quest bar wrapper, just everyday nonsense, right? Is it anything special? Absolutely not, but I like it, so I took a photo of it. That's kind of the name of the game for me. If I like something, I'm going to warm it up a little bit here, a little bit. If I like something, I'm going to take a shot of it. This one, I'm going to bring, I don't want to, no, I'll leave it where it is here. I'll just, that's fine. Bring this up just a little. Done. Moving on. This guy was kind of cool. He's just sitting here by himself outside of this restaurant, and you could see the workers behind him cooking. This one looks kind of cool. Again, you could see how different the file is. Obviously, this is a Leica M10 straight out DNG. Nothing wrong with it if you wanted to deliver it this way, but I like to color my images. I don't like to deliver straight out images. I'm not a JPEG shooter. I like to edit. I enjoy editing, so I like to put my own flair and style on my images and go from there. That one's done fine. This lady was kind of cool. I like the way that she had her hands behind her back. This one, I didn't mess with the angles at all. I like that, we have this strong shadow right here cutting off the frame, but then she's kind of, displayed on, the steel garage door. I really like these steel garage doors in photos. I think they look really cool, and I'll show you that on the next frame. But just to add a simple preset to her, Maybe just open it up just a little bit. Done. Done with that one. And here we go, steel doors again. This one I did crop, straighten it out, and bring this to a 16 by 9. And I don't want to take away too much. I want the red bag, and I want this shadow up here. Close that. This guy isn't even in focus. This guy is here. He's in focus with all his numbers here. But, you know, this guy is not. But I really don't care. It's about the scene. You know, obviously he's staring at me. He caught me. But it's all good. Like, you know, no big deal. I was with a 50 millimeter here, so I was definitely a respectful distance away from these guys. And just bring that here. I really don't like that she's in the frame, so I may unlock this and get her out of there. So I'll just bring it to there, and I think that would be even better anyway. And done on this one. Okay, so here we are again, classic scene in Chinatown. Really, really like the fact that you have this really like these whatever ducks, chicken. It's definitely a duck. That's a duck foot. So you have all this going on, but then you have the reflection of the buildings behind. You have this glaring highlights and whatnot. So let me add a preset and start from there. I think I'm going to go with preset 1. I don't like where it is. It's way too warm, so I'm going to cool that down, and I'm going to bring this up. Let me bring that up. Let me bring the coolness down just a little bit more. I'm going to add some contrast to this. I'm going to bring my blacks down just a little bit. And the reason why I'm doing that is I want all this exposed, this, grimy window glass, and I don't want to take away anything else from the frame. I like this greenish in the highlights here, and the overall city. And you can actually see me holding a camera right here with my one arm up my shoulder, and it's kind of like a selfie with a big slab of beef across my face. But add a little frame to that, and let's call it a day and move on. I really like that frame. I use that one a lot. This one is, I really like this frame. This one is really cool. It edits out really nicely, and I believe I did a 1 on this one as well, but let me see what 2 looks like. 2's a little warm. Maybe I didn't do 1. No, I did 3. So Vibrant 3 color tone preset / mammy jammy right here. Crop this out because I don't want the entire car. I made this more of a square. I may even have made it, no, because I want the steering wheel. So this one really just, I think I put it right here is fine. It's all good. Yeah, and I moved it over. Real fast edit on this one, guys. Real fast. Little contrast here to bump up those colors. Bring down that black just a little bit and put a frame on it. And this one is done. Really, really like this. Again, the highlights. He's engrossed in his phone or whatever he's doing. He's writing stuff down. I have a lot of this color that it's introduced from the reflections. I have the red, I have the blue, I have these lights here. And then I have, the car and the inside of the car and him. He's wearing the red jacket and, just the superimposed, stuff on his face. I really like this kind of stuff. This is what I live for when I shoot street. This is kind of cool. This hard angle of light right here. This is a little overexposed, I'm not going to lie. But we can kind of work with that. Throw the vibrant color profile on here. I think I had to do some work with this one because, it's really harsh on the skin. So I think I did bring this up a little bit. I think I did bring some of the contrast down. Highlights were down. The shadows, I think I brought the shadows down. I brought the shadows down just a little bit. I think I brought the whites, brought the whites down. The blacks down. Everything was brought down just a little bit. I think I brought the vibrance down too, yeah. And then, again, straighten this out. Let's let's do an auto angle here, straighten it out, and let's do a, let's see what a 16 by 9 looks like. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do, no, I don't want to do a 16 by 9. I want to unlock that. And because I want to have you have some of the roof there and some of the curb. But I do like it straightened out. I think that's the way to go. And maybe bring the exposure just a little bit. And yeah, let me see if I could cool this off. Maybe a little. There we go. And, you know, if I want to put the frame back on that, I can do that as well. And moving on. This is that same area. I really like the way that this edits because I love this highlighted area in the store. I like the depth where it's like, you know, I have this fire hydrant kind of in a way with these yellow spikes, you know, the parking, you know, protector concrete things here. But I like the depth of the image. I like that there is like, you know, a gentleman here, but there's much more going on behind him. And it kind of just, I don't know, I like this kind of stuff. Which way do I want to go here? I'm going to go with 1 again. I'm going to cool this whole image down just a little bit and open up the exposure a little and then bring down my blacks a little bit. And let me see, warm this up. Let me adjust the tint a little bit and make this a little more cooler. Right there, done. Yeah, I like all this. I like, you know, all the hustle and bustle behind at this market. People are shopping, and you know, he's not even in focus. You know, he back here is. You know, had it at f4, but you know, it's not easy as you get older to focus an M camera. It can be a little difficult. Again, reflection kind of right off the bat looks like nothing. Kind of got a little scene going on over here. Let me throw a preset on, and you know, I like all this. I like, I'll show you. Let me just even this up here. You know, I don't really need to do anything with it. Just even, I'm a stickler for lines, guys. I told you that before. I like that this stuff was even. This is one of the attendees, actually, but I like that he's in the back and this girl's giving him the peace sign. He's about to take a photo because I told him, hey, like, let's work on some street portraits, getting people to pose for you. So he was kind of doing that as a mini assignment. But, you know, I got all this stuff in the foreground here, like this old, like, you know, shoe cobbler area with the scissors and this window. And it kind of reminds me of like more like Fred Herzog type of thing. And by no means am I saying I am a Fred Herzog, you know, caliber of photographer, but it just reminds me of that kind of, you know, image where it's just looking at the mundane, right? And, you know, again, dilapidated concrete building, reflections, story within the reflection, you know, things that are superimposed over top of the story, and, you know, just this depth, right? This depth of a street, and, you know, a lot of this kind of shadow and different color palettes within the image. And the story also, you can see that the story is on this side of the image, and then you have like a whole nother image. Just that it could actually be like almost 2 images. Like you could actually take this and make this the image right here, or, you know, you can undo that and you can turn around and you could probably sit here and make this the image. Not that this is great, but you do have these repetitive lines of color and just, you know, green, orangey red, white, orangey red, rusted, green, red. Like it's just repetitive, right? So it's almost like 2 images in one, but I like it as a whole. I like the way it tells a story, and just a lot going on, right? In this image, you can just find these new things like this little tie here, this little hinge, bag up top, just different, just numbers here. You can, you know, just different stuff. I like that. This is like a wall that I shoot at a lot. You know, these kids are walking by. Just quick little, you know, profile on that just to see the way it edits out. Nothing great. Kind of a nothing image. Moving on. This one I kind of liked. At face value, it's completely messed up. I don't know what I was even trying to focus on, to be honest with you. I don't know where my attention was. I believe I was trying to capture these two girls. But again, I am at f6.8, and I don't even know if that's correct because it's, whatever, it's a 50 millimeter Summicron M10. But the way I could kind of take this file and work with it is, I put my profile on there. And what I ended up doing is I ended up just cropping this into a way that I enjoy. So I kind of went like this direction, and I moved this over, and now we start getting to, one of those street scenes where, again, they're moving fast, food in hand, and then we got these kids in the background with, a bike and everything, and we have this kind of graffiti. Again, it's nothing at face value, but when it's all added together, it kind of looks cool. It's just a street scene, right? Just an everyday, fast moving street scene in New York City. So I kind of dig it. This one I like, this repetitive angle of people. Their attention is, the two people closest to me aren't paying attention, but she is over here, right? She's looking at me. And then we have this angle, right? We have this like tallest, the shortest, and closest, the farthest. And it's just this, the way that this is angled out. And I like these buildings in the background, but let's throw a preset on here. Let's do vibrant. Right now I have vibrant 2, which I don't like. I like 1. I think 1 is the way to go on this one again. Seem to be sticking with 1 a lot today, and just bringing this up, bringing the highlights down, the whites down a little bit. Is it a great image when it comes to composure? No. I mean, well, I like the composition of it. It's a little bit off. It's a little bit blurry. I'm going to cool this down a little bit, but I like all the color tones. I like the blues and, the skin tones here, and the city behind with the, all the windows and the different color buildings, and, just a cool type of shot. Moving on. Again, we're almost done. Reflections. I know that this video is a little bit longer. I apologize. But again, when I get into editing, it is kind of where we are. Reflections, again, another scene. Again, we have all these other ones, it's kind of endless when it comes to, what you can kind of pull off with these color tones, the profiles. But I'm going to go with 1 again. Let me see. Well, let's go with 2, color 2. Let's bring this up a lot, and let's bring the blacks down to pump up that and the contrast to get that. It almost looks like a film burn, but it's not. It's not a film burn. It's just reflection off of an orange wall. Sorry if you can hear the dogs barking. Something must have caught their attention, like usual. Okay, and then just crop that out and call that one done. Again, sticking with that theme, worker here, and obviously me, selfie, and I can see by the looks of that, I am working with an M10, 50 millimeter Summicron, and let's just put a color tone on this. I love this. I love the greens here. This needs to come up just a little bit, and let's, again, with reflections, I like to bring down the blacks, and I like to add a little contrast. Let's bring this up just a little bit more, and let's bring the shadows down a little, and maybe the whites. Okay, I'm not even going to crop that. I'm not going to angle it different. I'm not going to adjust the aspect at all. I'm going to leave that right where it is. I like the fact that, I'm in the scene. I'm putting myself into the story. I mean, the story is this guy right here cooking or, prepping or doing whatever he's doing, but I like all the colors involved. And then I'm actually placing myself in the scene, which I don't do often. I know certain photographers do. I've seen it. It does look kind of cool. I'm not a big in front of the camera kind of guy, but, it is kind of cool to kind of, hey, yeah, here's proof. I did take the photo. There's me taking the photo. So I like it. but you can see like even this scaffolding here, like you would almost say like, oh, where is that? Like you could tell that that's behind me. It's on the other side of my head. So that's actually across the street. And this building right here, this up top is superimposed, but it creates, again, a frame. This is actually the stove up here, but this blue green is actually the top of the scaffolding across the street behind me. So is the car. So there's so much going on. Reflective shots are just so much fun to do when they come out, and you can kind of just play with different layering, right? So it's like the gentleman, you have all this stuff going on in the background, people and him doing his work, and then all the stuff in his kitchen. Then you have all the stuff behind me that is being superimposed on the window. Then you have, myself being reflected onto the glass, and you subtle highlight changes and tonalities. It's reflections are so much fun. You can spend all day shooting reflections. Just a single, older woman walking here, but I really like the fact that she's in blue. This is going to be more of a green, and then this is like red and orange, and then you have your tans and your blacks. It's just a cool color profile. Adding that preset to it just adds a little bit more, add a little contrast, bring down the blacks a little bit. And I don't think I'm going to do anything else to that. And that is kind of the way it is. And again, it's just squares. It's repetitive squares. Square, square within a square, another square, little squares here, a rectangle, squares on the pavement, and, just one single solitary subject wearing, a nice primary color blue and just another primary red right here. And, just different tonalities. I really enjoy that. It looks good framed out with a black. You could put a little more vignette into it if you want to, and that would be fine as well. And that one is done. We're getting to the end, guys. 3 more. We're going to move quick. Okay, so here we are. I've edited this photo so many times. Again, I was able to really nail this one in focus. 50 millimeter Summicron M10, Leica M10, at a traffic stop or traffic light in New York City. And I just thought she was stylish. She's just a very well put together woman here with her makeup done and her hat, and just very stylish, and the depth that it creates. And again, we're in a crowd of people, but you can tell that she is alone, solitary. But if I add a preset, and I have not tried these presets on this image yet, so we'll see how it goes. I think I like 2 on this one. And I'm going to bring it up just a little bit. I'm going to bring those highlights down a little, shadows down, whites I'll bring up a little, and I'll bring my blacks down just a little. I will crop this down to a 5.7, and will I cool it down? Cool down just a little bit, and more saturation. No, I'm going to actually take some saturation away and open up the vignetting. Yeah, open up the vignette a little bit, and that's done. Frame it and call it a day. Done. Again, this guy was really cool. He let me take his photo. I went up to him. I said, my man, I really like your jacket here. I like your style, and I just thought that with his glasses and everything. And he was like, yeah, man, do your thing. Like, he didn't care. No big deal. He was just standing there. Again, 50 millimeter Summicron. And let's just see where we can go with this one. I really think I like 1 on this. It does need to be brought up exposure-wise. And I'm going to cool it down just a little bit. And little contrast on this, bring the blacks down a little bit. Do I want to straighten that out? I'll straighten this out a little bit. I'm looking at this line right here. I want to straighten out, and by straightening that out, I'm not losing anything on him, so that's a win for me. And exposure, saturation, kind of leaving it where it is. I'm going to bring this up just a little bit more. Bring these highlights down. Bring the whites down a little bit. Okay. I like where that is. A little vignette. Yep, fine. Let's put a frame on it. Yeah, we could do a white frame, but yeah, I mean, either way. Or you don't have to do a frame, but I like my frames. So, yeah, that one's done. And again, single subject by himself on the phone, completely engrossed. This one does need to get adjusted out because it's already bothering me with the angles. And let's put 3 on this one, a little warmer, and bring up the highlights a little bit for his skin tones. Bring up the exposure, maybe a little bit on the blacks, bring that down, and maybe take some saturation away, and that is done as well. Okay. So real quick, going back into the library, you can see that now we've edited all these photos, and look at how cohesive they all are. And, you know, again, you can do this without presets or profiles. It would just take more time to dial in every attribute to get all your images the same. Even if you were to edit out just one photo and then apply those same presets, you know, to everything, you would still have to make some adjustments. This is just really, really quick. And you can see that all the colors are similar. It's a similar color profile, even using all of the 3 different ones that I showed you, Vibrant 1, 2, and 3. I mean, that's only 3 of them within 29 color profiles that I give you. So within those 3, you can kind of see that they all are the same type of color profile. The greens and the blues and the oranges and reds, they are all the same. And it gives you a really nice cohesive look, and a really nice just overall finished profile or finished product. So yeah, that's my editing. Okay, so again, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I know that that is an extremely long video about editing, but hopefully there was a little bit of a takeaway from that. Obviously, I was working with all my color profiles and presets. It does make things a lot easier for me, but at the end of the day, if you're trying to figure out your own style, make some presets for yourself or some color profiles, or if you're so inclined, pick up my color tones, my tones profiles, and make your own presets out of them. They are highly adjustable and workable. Profiles are amazing to work with, and you can create your own cohesive look and just apply them to your images. This is just how I do things. I'm not here to sell you. I'm just here to show you my process. I do get a lot of questions about, you know, what is my secret, or, hey, do you have a recipe, or, you know, is that straight out of camera, or what are you doing to create those? And this is it. I'm not full of secrets. I'm always open to share with you my process. So I hope you enjoyed that. Again, I apologize for the length of the video, but catalog this, save it in your playlist for something that you may want to come back to, you know, ever so often, and kind of dig and watch it. If you don't feel like watching the full time length of this, I completely understand. So I hope you like that. Links for everything is in the description below, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks again. See ya.